Kuala River in Southeast Asia looks very quiet. But downstairs, it's a maze of currents. And to get this job done, I had to thread my way through them. I'm Mike Nelson, and my job was collecting weeds for a marine laboratory back in the States. They had an idea that these particular weeds might be a first-rate food source for human beings. The currents had made what should have been an easy job a rough one. Every now and then, the underwater wildlife made it even rougher. This specimen seemed to think that I'd make a first-rate food source myself. For him. Maybe he was allergic to scuba divers. Or maybe I just didn't appeal to him. The feeling was mutual. I'd had about all I could take of this temperamental river, with its treacherous currents and trouble-making gators. I never enjoyed pulling weeds much anyway, not even in my own front yard. All in all, I was mighty glad that this was my last day in the job. By tomorrow morning, I'd be on my way downriver to the port of Callao. And when I got there, I'd be only 12 hours from home by jet. First, though, I had to get from here to Callao. And these characters had a different idea about that. They also had what it took to make it stick. I didn't know who these fellows were, or why they'd scooped me out of the river like a trout, but it was a cinch they had something in mind for me. Their girlfriend wasn't talking either.
What's happening? What are you doing to me? What's going on? Hey, come back!
I didn't quit till I heard the girl coming back. She had brought somebody with her.
Raina, did you do this? Why?
Mr. Nelson is a professional diver.
What?
But we need him to help us.
Help me with this. Help me, boys. You all right, Mr. Nelson?
Your friends have a strange sense of humor.
Well, they didn't mean any harm. You're just trying to help me and the hospital.
Yeah? What do you mean, what hospital?
Lamatsu. I'm Jan Sperling. I'm the doctor there.
Dr. Jan Sperling of Lamatsu?
Yes.
Wow, I never expected to meet you this way.
I'm terribly sorry this had to happen.
That's all right.
You know something, Doctor? When I was a kid, about 13, my one big ambition in life was to be just like you. I wanted to build and run a medical center somewhere in the jungle just like you were doing. And you're still doing it. I guess, I just didn't have what it takes.
What it takes mainly, Mr. Nelson, is a great deal of help. We've been very fortunate in that regard.
Yes. Until now.
Yes.
You, said something about needing my help.
Yes, sir.
It's far too dangerous.
What'd you have in mind, a diving job?
Yes.
Maybe I can figure out a way, so it won't be so dangerous.
No, Mr. Nelson. Quang Lun controls all this area of the river. He's a witch doctor, and he's out to become Tuan, or leader here, by destroying Lamatsu, if he can.
What do you mean?
Well, our medical supplies come upriver from Callao once every 6 months. A shipment was due 3 days ago. Quang attacked the barge and dumped all the supplies into the river. 3 of our men were killed in the fight.
Supplies still in the bottom?
It wasn't possible to salvage them. Still isn't.
Does Quang Lon have scuba divers in his outfit?
You know, with gear like this?
No, no.
Well, they shouldn't cause us too much trouble.
But I can't let you try it.
You need those supplies, don't you?
Oh, yes, we need them very much. We are out of many drugs.
We'll have to manage without them.
Maybe you won't have to. Believe me, Doctor. I have respect for human life, too, especially when it's mine. I'll be back as soon as I get some fresh tanks for my boat and some other things, huh?
Here you are, Mr. Nelson.
So you're in on this, too, huh?
Rana told me to bring it.
She did, huh? This is my boatman and diving buddy, Vin Shaw. I imagine you know Dr. Sperling.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Well, looks like the two of them got together and made sure that I'd help you. I'd like to. Very much.
All right. Now, there's a cove just down the river, near where the supplies were dumped. That might give you some protection going in or coming out of the water.
That's a good idea. Show us where it is, huh? You want to take this? Let's go.
According to Dr. Sperling, the supplies had been dumped about a mile above the point where the river started boiling out into the sea. Most of the men in this river country were expert freedivers, like the two who had snagged me. Vin Shaw was the only one that I knew about who was checked out on scuba. I had checked him out myself. It was a good thing that I did have company. Fighting this particular current was definitely a two-man job. We fought it together for a good 15 minutes, but the medical supplies seemed to be nowhere in sight. I decided to let the current work for us now and carry us back to our starting point so we could search another sector. The current really knocked us around, but that wasn't the main problem. No matter where I looked, I couldn't see a sign of what we were after. There was nothing to do but fight our way forward again, beyond the point where we turned back and keep on looking. Those supplies had to be found, or 40 years of Dr. Sperling's life would literally go down the river.
Take cover. Come. It's Quang Lan.
Should we warn Mr. Nelson?
No, let's pray that he stays under with Vin Shaw till they go by. Do you think you can follow along the riverbank without being seen?
I could try.
Let us know when he turns back.
It was beginning to look as if the current had carried the supplies clear out of the river and into the sea. Quang Lan, it seemed, had won this battle, and with it, the war against Lamitsu. I was wrong. He had come close, but he hadn't won yet. Even from this distance, I could see that he hadn't been content just to dump the supplies. He had ripped open most of the cartons first and scattered the precious medicine over the river bottom. Vinshaw went to work rounding up the supplies while I tied off our lifeline. Neither of us was expecting trouble, but it came from out of nowhere. From its angle of flight, I knew that it hadn't come from above, but from where? I had to find out. This spear might have some buddies. Vinshaw found the line which apparently had triggered this booby trap. We followed it to the trap itself. It was an old-fashioned crossbow. I was sure, though, that Quang Lan had planted more than one booby trap down here. I've been right about Quang Lan. He hadn't been satisfied with setting just one booby trap to protect the medical supplies that he looted from Dr. Sperling. Already, I'd found a second trap and managed to spring it without getting hurt. Now, Vinshaw and I were looking for the rest of them. It wasn't too hard. Apparently, Quang Lan had drawn a crude square around the supplies and planted a trap at each corner. This line led me to trap number 3. It was a delicate operation releasing the spear from the crossbow, but my luck held. Vinshaw joined me now with a fourth spear. It could be that I was wrong, and there were still more booby traps. But one last swing through the area showed nothing to worry about. The fact was, we were starting to run out of bottom time, and the sooner we got to the actual salvage job, the better. The job would have to be done in 2 stages. We'd be able to get the unbroken cartons to the top by hooking them to the special rope that I'd brought down. But we'd need something else for all the smaller stuff that was scattered around. It didn't take us long to secure the cartons to the rope. Now, unless we ran afoul of the currents again on the way up, this part of the job, at least, was done.
Mr. Nelson, these spears, where did you find them?
Quang Lan wanted to make sure that you didn't get your supplies. Here, pull it in, huh? At least what was left of them. He smashed up most of your crates.
Yes, but much medicine is still there, on the bottom, and not spoiled.
Yeah, that's right. We need a small mesh net to get it up. And some fresh tanks, huh?
I will get them.
Now, wait a minute. Mr. Nelson, Quang Lan just went by in a junk with 2 spearmen. Now, all these spears of his are poison-tipped.
We better hurry then.
No, I cannot allow you to go back in the water, Mr. Nelson.
But the bulk of the stuff is still down there.
So be it.
If Quang Lan wins this battle, he'll win the war. He'll close up your hospital.
So be it.
After dedicating your life to the hospital, you're willing to give it up just like that, without a fight?
Yes. And this is my way. And it's been my way for a very long time. Nothing, absolutely nothing, is worth jeopardizing a man's life for. Your life, Mr. Nelson.
What about the lives that'll be lost without those supplies? What are you waiting for, Vin? Come on. I'm sorry, Doctor, but I believe when you're hit, you should hit back.
I cannot let you do this, Mr. Nelson. Your death is almost a certainty.
With all due respect, Doctor, I believe I'm the best judge of my chances in the water. Now, we beat Quang Lan once without anybody getting hurt. We can do it again.
How much time will you need?
10 or 15 minutes is all.
Well, Rayner's keeping an eye on Quang Lan.
Yeah.
I'll signal you with the guide rope if you promise to come up then.
Yes, I will.
Here, Mr. Nelson. I changed my tank already.
You don't have to go back down again, you know.
We will finish more soon together.
That's right. What about Quang Lan?
I am afraid of him. So I think we should hurry.
Getting back down to the supplies wasn't much of a problem. Gathering them up, though, and sorting them out was going to take time.
Dr. Sperling, Quang Lan found Mr. Nelson's boat. He went aboard, and he knows he saw the gear.
He knows that Nelson is a diver?
Yes.
And Quang's coming back?
10 minutes. I took Tail Ray Pass so I could get here before him.
Good. Good girl.
Vinshaw was right. Together, we were finishing more soon. The question was, would it be soon enough?
Rayner.
The signal on our lifeline could mean only one thing. Quang Lan was back. But we couldn't stop now. The signal from topside was more urgent than ever. Luckily, the job down here was done now. All we had to do was fasten the net to the line and start for the top with it. We were all set now. But we had waited a few seconds too long. Quang Lan had spotted our bubbles, and he knew exactly what to do about it. One of his men dove straight down at us with a poison-tipped spear. Vinshaw didn't like the idea, but I insisted on sending him topside with the supplies while I held the fort. Dodging the spearman helped some, but not much.
Mark! Yes.
Seconds later, another diver was plunging down at me. This one almost tagged me. From then on, it was one diver after another. The water seemed to be filled with them. They barreled in on me so fast that I just couldn't get off the bottom enough to get past them. About the only thing I could do was the octopus trick. Try to blind them. Not with ink, but with bottom sand.
What happened? Is Mr. Nelson done?
He stayed to fight them.
Get the rat. This time he needs our help.
I twisted and dodged the best I could, but there was just one diver too many for me. One finally got past my guard. By some minor miracle, his spear found its mark in my gear instead of in me. He did plenty of damage at that. The spear had ripped my air hose. That meant, of course, that I had to get upstairs, if the spearmen would let me. To give me the speed I needed, I ditched my tanks. The air hose kept on bubbling, though, and this suckered one spearman into aiming for them instead of me. I had about one chance in 10 million now of winning my war against Quang Lan. But I might just manage to do it by using his tactics. I'll say one thing for Quang Lan. He wasn't the kind that gives up. Not until he's made to give up. I tried my darndest, but I couldn't do it. I needed outside help. And ironically enough, Quang's own spearman gave it to me. The poison-tipped spear had taken care of Quang Lan for the moment. The man responsible for that had just one idea in mind now, getting away from there. A second later, I hit the surface myself, took in some air, and started back down after Quang Lan. I got to the witch doctor just as he was going all the way down. It would have been the last time for him. How is he, Doctor? Is he gonna make it?
I believe the antidote I've given him will work.
That's good. I'm glad.
Did you really mean it when you said you were glad? That man tried to kill you. When you hit, you said you hit back.
Well, I didn't want to kill him. Just want to keep him from killing me, that's all. Nothing wrong in that, is there?
Why, no. Nothing. Nothing at all. I see that. There are many ways to protect the living organism from disease and death. My way, not the only way. Perhaps not even the best way.
Oh, I think it's the best way. But sometimes you gotta bend a little. You know, Doctor? Give a little, make changes to survive.
Adaptation. Yes, that's the law of survival and growth. You know, Mr. Nelson, I'm sorry you weren't a doctor. You'd have been a fine one.
Hello there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. Skin diving is fun and adventure for young and old, but it can be dangerous. So know the sport well and don't take any chances. Be with you next week for another exciting sea hunt.